In 1990, our legislature made the Secretary of State the chief election official, but I'm the first person to have run for this office in that period of time who actually was an election professional. I had a national election law practice in Washington, D.C. I handled campaigns and elections in all 50 states multiple times as an election professional, and that really gave me a great insight into what states do well and don't do well with election integrity. Why am I interested in election integrity? Well, because I'm a voter. The same way I'd be interested in integrity in any part of the government, but especially here, because if there's cheating, that cancels out my vote. Part of my job is to encourage people to register to vote. We've got to have people believe that our elections are secure. I think voter ID laws are important for two reasons. So number one, for obvious reasons, we got to know who you are before you vote in our election. But number two, again, this gets back to public confidence. If people don't get asked for an ID, even if they're actually the real voter, they're going to doubt if the next person in line is really who they say they are. It's really important to have confidence in our system. That's what our entire system of governance is based on, is public consent, public confidence. Otherwise, the whole thing unravels. So you got to do this not just for the security, but for the confidence of the public. What we've done here in Kentucky is unique. We've been bipartisan. We've got Democrats and Republicans around the table. We've looked at our history of vote fraud here in Kentucky. We've assessed how we can prevent it in the future. And we've passed legislation almost unanimously in both houses of our legislature. I'm a Republican. We've got a Democratic governor to sign our bill, even though it cracks down on ballot harvesting and requires an ID for an absentee ballot and so forth. You can do this in a bipartisan way. You get a good policy, but you also get a good result in public support for what you're doing from both sides of the aisle. Before I took office, we had hundreds of thousands of people that we knew were on our voter rolls who had moved away, passed away, or been put away, and they were still on our rolls. And so that's what we've been working on administratively, is getting those rolls cleaned up. I've been in office for 16 months. Half of those months, we've taken more dead voters off our rolls than added live voters. I come from a family who don't vote all that often and are very cynical about politics. But going home now and talking with people and seeing that they have a renewed interest in politics, they think it's more legitimate now. They think that the elections are more legitimate now because of the reforms we've done. That means a lot to me. And my hope is that leads to more people voting who are, of course, legal voters.